Yep, well, we're live right now. All right, everyone. So we're just gonna have some chat time for 15 minutes. We got Blair Hope. He's gonna come on, and um, some things have changed with what he's got going on in the upcoming year. So he's gonna come on, take up about 15, 20 minutes, and tell us about it. We did have someone, and we're gonna probably have to schedule them for later on, or maybe they'll come up at the end. But Sarah Garcia. Um, I'll reach out to her at the end of this and see if she wants to come on. But the big show of the night is for the Grantsville folks. We're going to be talking with Neil Critchlow. Going to find out, kind of where he sees Grantsville going. I've been peppered with a few questions to ask him already, but
That was quick.
yeah, yeah, he's well, yeah. Most of the questions came from one person, but he is going to he's going to come on and tell us about what he sees with the upcoming future of Grantsville. And so if you guys have any questions about that, please feel free to jump on there.
So right now it's just a little you and me time.
Just you and me, but I want to talk about this like I guess you'd call it scourge that's going on. And I'm going to be reading this off my phone. So in Magna, so we got a warning. What was it? 2 days ago, a lot of news sources nabbed it. There's been a lot of TikTok threats to schools in Utah, and I'm like, well, what's that all about? But I think looking further into it, the police don't even think that it's a. There was threats that today in school there was going to be a school shooting, and it actually said here in Tooele was one of the threatened areas. But there was a kid in Magna that was picked up today by the police, and they're going to charge him, but they don't think the threat was legitimate. They think it's just a ploy that the kids are using to go viral to get attention.
And this is the gun TikTok phenomenon that's like ramping through the Tooele area right now.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's not just Tooele. I mean, the one they got was in Magna. That's in Salt Lake County. They got one in all the other states. So I think it's a TikTok, a plea to become, to do the viral thing.
Just get their 5 minutes of TikTok fame.
Yeah, but
God, could you imagine if we had TikTok back in our day? I mean, we'd be in so much trouble or something. It seems like this thing is a lot of trouble for teens.
dude, could you imagine half of this stuff if we had any of it?
I don't know how I survived my childhood as it was, but with all this technology kids have access to nowadays, or that we have access to actually spy on our children with, just the communication channels are so open. It's almost like one Big Brother type TV show now with our lives.
Well, and like even just Twitter, how many people have lost their jobs over Twitter in the last, I don't know, 5 years? You know, they root back. What's that comedian name? The little short feller. The one that's in the show with The Rock all the time. Gosh dang it.
Webster?
That was David Weiss that said that. I'm just the guy who forgot your name. That was David who said that. Come on, anybody out there?
He used to go, the plane, right? That guy?
No, the comedian that's in the movies like the Jungle movie, Jumanji.
Jumanji.
Oh, sweet. How am I forgetting his name? Anyways, I'll remember his name in like 2 minutes. But anyways, he was going to announce like the Golden Globes or whatever, and he got canceled for that because of something he said on Twitter like 11 years ago.
Twitter's been around that long?
I guess, yeah. So it's
like, who goes back 11 years of your history on a social media profile?
Sick people, but Kevin Hart, thank you, Derek. Kevin Hart, how did I forget that name? It's not like it has a million syllables or anything. But anyways, yeah. So Kevin Hart, he got canceled. Yeah, so they like there was that girl who got on the New York Times. No, not her. She got on what's the fat Cosmo or something, and she was going to be their Cosmo. I don't know, something. It was. I want to say it was a girl magazine. She got on there and immediately people go and start digging through her old Twitter, and she got fired. So, it seems to be the latest thing. But yeah, I'm glad that wasn't around when we were kids. Now Dave right now is in jail on Facebook.
Again, I spend more time in jail than out of jail, it seems, these days, and for very, very strange, obscure things. I know I have like one of those kind of snarky type personalities when I do my comments to the leftists, and they've been really hammering me hard lately, Jared. I am starting to really feel it. So I don't know.
You just got out of jail like a week ago too.
I did, yes.
And then you're right back in.
Yeah, and the way it goes.
All right. Well, Blair's here. We're just gonna go ahead and pull him in. And I haven't been to jail yet. I don't know. For some reason, I am.
You stay quiet. You stay healthy in this environment somehow.
For some reason, I do.
I get triggered easy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Blair, are you there? All right, here he comes. He's coming. But yeah, I make snarky comments. All right, Blair's here. All right, so I'm gonna have to
pull him up.
Yep.
Stand by, Blair. We're coming.
Well, we're waiting for Blair to jump in.
Do we have the window open?
I'll open it up once his pretty mug shows up to the party. Blair, are you gonna come in with your video, or do you just want to do audio? Well, anyways, we'll keep chatting. Blair is here, and
he's getting himself situated.
Yeah,
he's putting his makeup on.
Yeah, hopefully he's not doing a tubing moment. And hold on, almost there. What's going on with CNN lately?
I think they're just having like one of those expose yourself moments.
That's not just that, but you've got one of their producers just got arrested for being a pedo.
Well, yeah, that's part of the exposure.
You've got another one that's fitting to get popped. He just got Project Veritas just released some emails of his or whatever.
But nothing ever goes through with Project Veritas. I mean, they can find the smoking gun.
Well,
and nothing happens.
That's not their fault. That's the fault of the judicial system. And then you've got Cuomo he's fired for aiding his brother, and then I heard Lemon might be on the chopping block for aiding old Jesse Smollett.
Is Lemon white?
Well, no,
Don
Lemon.
No, I don't know who that is.
Oh, well.
But if he's white, he's done. CNN seems to like to put those guys on the sacrificial altar and just stab them.
I don't know if it has anything to do with color. I think it is that
it helps. It's like a catalyst, I mean, it's like,
well, okay, there is a feeling lately on the left of the political aisle that George Bush Jr. had a lot of foul moments in his career. But one good thing he did was when he said the bigotry of low expectations. And that's the one time I think he hit the mark on the head. The problem is CNN took that statement and ran with it and made it their business model. But yeah, so they've got two producers that are going to go away for being pedos, and they've got the two of them that are going to go away for interfering in the justice system.
Well,
So I'm wondering what's going on there.
it's overdue justice, brother.
Yeah. Are you there, Blair? Can you hear us? We can hear Blair.
Let me shoot him a text, maybe.
Yeah, tell him we can hear him moving around and such.
We hear you, brother.
Yeah. I could make him go quiet for a minute until he's ready. Tell him to shoot us a text when he's ready. I'll turn him back on. But anyway, so yeah, CNN's falling apart. But this TikTok thing, what I'm worried about with that is where it's going with this is I'm afraid it's going to spiral out until they...
Are we muted on his end?
I muted his side. We shouldn't be muted on his end.
He says we're muted, so...
Are we?
Now, I'll say this with the TikTok things. The kids are going to do stupid things. And I just hope we don't... I hope we don't go so hard on them that it destroys their life forever in the future. You got to punish them, I know, but...
Well, no. What I'm worried about is that chase for virility. You know how they started eating the Tide Pods and, I don't know, stapling their eyelids to walls. Whatever they're going to do to go viral. I'm afraid that they're going to... that they will be fine with kind of actually carrying out actions in schools to go viral. That will be the next step. Yeah. Is that to go viral, like when that guy did that shooting in where was he at, New Zealand or Tasmania or whatever, where it looked
into
like
the mosque and shot everyone up.
Yeah, it looked like a video game. He had like a GoPro on his head. And that's
you're going to get that. I really don't think there's any way to stop that if we're going to allow regular people to communicate with the world, because there's a lot of bad apples in the real world, and this is only going to magnify the attention they receive, and it's going to put a spotlight on the fact that they're there. We didn't have that back then. I mean,
yeah, it was pretty open. Blair, are you there?
I am here. Thank you.
Hey, Blair, now do you want to come up on camera or do you just want to do this audio?
I am ready to dance for you on the camera.
All right, pull it up. Let's see what you got.
I think I'm waiting for you. My video started.
I don't think...
We've only got a graphic icon of
we
the
just
foundation.
We just have the Hope for Life Foundation icon.
Look and see if there's a video. But
there
hey
we go.
there. You just popped right up.
All right.
That technology is amazing.
That looks pretty sexy, man. I like how you do that.
Yes, it is. It is. So anyway, we just wanted to have you on for a few minutes. We know that there was a bit of a tragedy at where you were going to have your oh heck, why is my mind losing it today,
Our
Dave?
fundraiser banquet.
Yeah. And so I'm just wondering, I want you to come on and update if people want to know where it's going to be, what changes there's going to be.
Let's talk about what happened first.
Yeah.
Let's set the mood.
Well, unfortunately, you never want to talk about tragedy, if you will. But unfortunately, the lodge at the Royal Creek Ranches, owned by Chad Hyman and his family, it had a fire, an accidental, tragic fire, and it started in the chimney. I hear, and unfortunately, it got out of control and it burnt to the ground. Unfortunately, Chad Hyman, you know him, a great guy. He plans on rebuilding, but unfortunately, it won't be rebuilt by the time May 21st rolls around. And so they respectfully reached out to us and say we're not able to host it. And then so I instantly got on the horn and tried to find another venue. And I'm happy to report, that our venue is going to be the Deseret Peak Complex. They have a nice convention hall in there that'll suit our needs. We've had other banquets in there before in the past, and it's been great. So I'm really excited about it.
Good.
But sad that we couldn't have it at Royal Peak Ranches, because that was a phenomenal venue.
Yeah, that is depressing, but you should be able to, maybe next year or the year after, whenever they get it done and up and running. I imagine it's not going to be a overnight process to get it built and get all the bugs worked out.
Right.
And I had heard it was in the chimney also, that fire started in the chimney and consumed it.
Correct. But I mean, I'd be happy to talk more about the banquet if you want. Or how do you
Yeah.
want to do this?
Well, can you give us the date one more time when the venue will occur?
Great. So it's going to be Saturday, May 21st of 2022. Now, the reason that is so cool is because not only is the month of May Armed Forces Month, but Saturday, May 21st is Armed Forces Day. And so that is very cool. And especially to have our venue, our fundraiser venue for our veterans on that evening, I think it's going to be phenomenal.
What's the number? What's the cap on the number of attendees for the venue?
Well, honestly, right now I don't have a cap. I did have a cap at the other venue. This one opens that up, so I'm quite happy for that. But I'll be honest with you guys, I'd be happy if we got 200, 250, 300 people. That would rock my world, and that would definitely show huge support and sponsorship for our not only for our veterans, but the program, and we can offer that scholarship and sponsorship to that many more veterans throughout the years. And the schedule. If you want me to cover the schedule of the event, you want me to do that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So 5 o'clock is our social hour and our casino playing time and drink time. And maybe I should talk about that. So when somebody reserves a seat or a table, each seat will come with 2 drink tickets at the wet bar and 20 drawing tickets for various prizes that we're going to have to give away. And it'll also come with I think it's $200 in chips. So we have an awesome company called Common Sense Entertainment. And what that is, it's a legal. There's no there's no money involved. So they come and host our entertainment, and they have. I don't know if any of you have been to a Children's Justice Center black tie blue jean event where they have an actual roulette table, craps tables, and 6 blackjack tables. And so you'll get $200 worth of chips. You go play. Hopefully you buy in. That's all about raising the money, right? But you have a great time. And then at 6:45 we'll have dinner. 7 o'clock the program starts with some sponsor recognition. Really excited about that part. 7:30 will be our live auction. We'll have very large ticket items, including some different guns and rifles that we'll have. And then from 8 to 10 again is that casino time. We wrap up the silent auction, and then we have a drawing for those tickets. So I'm really, really excited. And if I can put a plug in, we are looking for not only title sponsors, but also table sponsors. Well, what's the difference? Well, title sponsors, we've gone with that patriotic theme, with Save a Veteran. But and our red, white, and blue veteran and patriot. So our red level is $5,000, our white level is $2,000, our blue is $1,000, our veteran's $500, and our patriot is $300. Now you would say, man, that's a lot of money. Well, it is a lot of money, but you know what? It's about our cause. But what do you get for that money, right? So that if you're a title sponsor and a red sponsor of $5,000, you're going to get 2 tables of 10 people each. So that's 20 people that you could have dinner with. Awesome. So it's perfect for a company or a sponsor organization. But then you're going to get a full page ad logo in our program. So you can add or market whatever you want, right? Some kind of special deal, whoever you are, whatever. And then it kind of goes down from there. So white will get a half page ad, or sorry, 3/4 ad, half page ad, quarter ad down the line. And we're really excited about that. The other thing we have is what we call, our table sponsorships. And this is really cool because, say somebody wants to come in and we'll put a name placard on the craps table saying this table was sponsored by, Energy Solutions or Dave Weiss. You never know, right? If you want to pitch in and have your name on a table. We're not picky who does it, but again, it's just another way it's a win-win situation for our community's name, those entities in our community to get out there, but also they're supporting the Hope for Life Foundation cause, and we're saving veterans. That's what it's all about.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And make sure you give us a list of those people who want to be sponsored, and we'll throw something at them too. We can give them some free advertising and a thank you, since we're both veterans, I'm sure. Ain't that right, Jared?
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
Fantastic.
So throw out again the information if someone wants to buy a seat or buy a table or become a sponsor. Where do they go to?
Sure. You know what? They contact myself, Blair Hope, at 801-554-0527, or they email our foundation at blair@hopeforlife.org or hopeforlife.com. Sorry, that's our website. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll, of course, then again, anyone on my board, but that's the contact information that we put on the flyers themselves.
Can you give me that number one more time?
The phone number, sure, 801-554-0527.
Excellent. We're going to make sure that gets up.
Yep, 801-554-0527. That'll be in the show notes.
Sorry, go ahead, Jared.
No, it just we want to make sure if people are looking to do this, we want to provide them an easy outlet to reach out and contact you.
Right, and thank you. And then to be clear, I talked about our sponsors. So let's say you just want to come to the dinner, right? And that's okay too. So it's $55 a plate per person, to a single person. And by the way, Jared or Dave, ship me your email, and I'll give you all this information on soft copy, right? But one person is $55 a plate. A couple is $100, and then a table of 10 is $500. Right, so obviously, the better deal is the table. But again, we will. I already have 6 or 8 individuals that have paid to have their own seat, and that's okay too. We'll take everyone. But I say that because I don't want to get that confused. Because you don't have to pay $1,000 or $5,000 to come and enjoy. That's just a title sponsorship in the program.
That's more for say businesses or organizations. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So if you want to come, Dave and Dave and Jared, you come as a couple, pay $100, and you got 2 seats.
All right, I'll bring Dave as my date.
Jared gets the dress.
We'll do half and half dress, half tux. Mine's left dress, his is right dress. It's all good.
But honestly, I got to tell you guys, it would be my honor to have you guys come. Since you have been so gracious to us and the foundation and putting the word out, please do. I would be extremely honored if you guys came. And we make a big deal of it, right?
I think we both plan on coming.
May 21st.
Yeah.
You're going to have to forgive me. I just know it as the Jared and Dave show. What's the actual name of your show?
Tooele Happy Hour.
Okay, Tooele Happy Hour. So there you go then. We'll post that as a sponsor and rock on.
Yeah, we'll definitely we definitely both plan on coming. That's for sure. But yeah, we want to drive participation in this. We want you to. What we'd like to see you come. I don't know, end of January, beginning of February, start having to contemplate opening up more tables because you've sold everything you've got. That's what we'd like to see.
Fantastic. That would be a fantastic problem to have.
Yeah. That's a first world problem for sure.
And if I may, just so the audience, whoever's listening, if you will, just so you don't think this is a money grab, right? Maybe it's important. I mention again why we're doing this. Jared, is that fair?
Yeah. Let's take 10 minutes and go through kind of the program you run. Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to. You run a kind of a retreats to help veterans who might need. Maybe they're not in crisis per se, but to kind of help them out and help them with some growth to bring them back from wherever they've been. It's been a bad area.
With the goal of having the veteran being able to help other veterans. So kind of a pay it forward system.
Yeah.
That's where it all counts. That's what I call the true ROI. So I'll get there in a minute. So you're exactly right. the bottom line is this. We're losing too many veterans, period. I don't care what area, what campaign, what theater you were in, we're losing too many. Now, before I go on, I want to really clarify something, because there's a big misnomer out there about PTSD or PTSD, however you want to call it, right? Some people are finicky about calling it a disease or a syndrome. The reality is it's real. But the fallacy is this. As a disabled combat veteran myself, I totally get it. But even I had to have a rude awakening, and that is, you do not have to be wounded, maimed, quadriplegic, get hit to have PTSD. You don't have to do it. You can see combat. Something can happen. You can be injured lightly or a lot. Plenty of police officers and firefighters, man, they got their own deal, right? They can suffer PTSD. We all can. But the bottom line is unfortunately, so many people in society think that you have to have something drastically happen to deal with PTSD that leads to depression, that leads to tasting the taste of gunmetal or trying the strength of a rope. We don't want that to happen. The Valhalla Project has always said we're losing 22 vets a day. 22 vets a day. The reality is, with this pandemic crap that's going on, it's over 30 a day, man. 30 vets a day.
That's almost
wrong.
doubled.
It's wrong. It's wrong. And we got to stop it. And so, again, I know I'm nobody special, but I went through my own process, my own therapy, and I put all of these resources together to say, you know what, if I benefited from it, maybe somebody else can. And so we created the Hopeful Life Foundation. One of the biggest steps, and I'll call it the platform or the foundation of our foundation. And you're right, David, you brought it up. It's a retreat. This retreat is a 44-hour-long, hardcore, soul-searching retreat. And what we do is we have that veteran take a personal assessment test and a color test before they go in. Red, orange, green, right? Anger, shame, guilt, right? All those things. Those are evil masks that we wear or demons that we deal with. And so by the time the weekend's over, they are set up to what I like to call being positively vulnerable. Now, you're both veterans. We don't like being vulnerable, but positively vulnerable, that means our slogan is, what's the next step? I don't know what the next step is. I'm not Dave. I'm not Jared. I'm not Jim, right? But we've designed 4 pillars, spiritual health, mental well-being, physical empowerment, and financial confidence. I would submit to you that any 4 of those or all 4 of those, or lack thereof, is a cause of depression and loss of life. We don't want to do that. To back up, our vision statement is enabling and empowering veterans to be confident, contributing citizens in their community. Now getting back to Dave brought up, the true ROI. It's one thing, and believe me, it's an awesome feat. If we can save a life, beautiful. That's not the true ROI. The true ROI is enabling and empowering that veteran to gain the confidence, not only to heal himself, connect here to there, right? Not only to connect that, but when he gives back to his family and community, but more importantly, he helps save another veteran. That's the power of duplication. That's compounding interest. That's true return on your investment. And that's what we're all about. And this is not a love of leaving program, because that's just the first weekend, guys. I haven't told you about the programs within those 4 pillars I talked about, spiritual health, mental well-being, physical empowerment, financial confidence. We have programs in every one of those pillars, long-term. And then we have a reunion that comes up and different things and a family weekend. This thing is absolutely powerful. And quite frankly, we're just getting started. And I got to be careful and pinch myself, because it's going, I know scarily is not a word, or eerily is not a word, but it's going very well for us. And we're really trying to be humble and take it back and really take it as it comes. But one of the things we need, like everything else in this world, right? We can have great visions and dreams and resources, but we need funds. And here's why we need funds. We ask, there's a raw cost, right? A gross cost to put veterans through the weekend, and it's healthy. But we don't ask the vet to pay that. We ask a vet to pay a portion of that. But what's really, really cool is there's a clause when they register that says, hey, what you pay is between you and the creator. No questions asked. Now that's very important, because our last retreat, we had 3-4 veterans that couldn't pay anything. They were down and out, dude, down and out. That's okay. We had half that could pay partial to some to half. And I think we only had 2 or 3 that paid full. But we pick up the rest, and that's okay. Because I don't want any veteran out there not to have a chance to go through our program, our weekend, because of money. And that's why we're doing it. So scholarships and sponsorships, and people can donate to that cause all year long. That's part of our Project Hope campaign. It says red, white, and blue as well. And that little sponsor campaign comes with its own frame, picture, and patch, and coin, and certificate letter. And again, just a way of saying thank you. It's not about the coin or patch, but it's all about the cause. It's all about saving veterans, right? That's what it's all about.
For sure. And saving communities.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's a default, right? When you save people, you save what's around.
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
you do.
You don't want to, losing a father in the community is disastrous.
Right. Amen.
And losing a father to suicide is, well, that's beyond disastrous.
Right.
And
right.
yeah, and we're losing over 30 a day right now, and
it's such a staggering number. I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around the concept. 30 a day. That's a lot.
Yeah, and all suicides went up during this pandemic.
They have, and bottom line, it all sucks, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's another great group in our county that's doing phenomenal work, and they Life's Worth Living Project. John Gossett, he's kind of partnered with us and mentoring me and helped me do different things. Great cause. Because anytime we can put a smile on someone's face, that's 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day. They're longer, they're still with us, and that's what's important. And it's just sad. And I love the fact that you guys, if I may, I love the fact that you guys are doing what you're doing, because you're not allowing just me, but you're allowing everyone else to be involved in the community and be in the know. And I don't think you realize how powerful that is. And yeah, I don't know how many listeners or viewers you have, but I pray to God you get a lot more. Because the more we get educated in our community on how to make our community succeed, everybody wins, man. I'll to tell you a quick story real fast. My wife, God bless her, not to throw her under the bus. One of the things years ago, she felt bad for not being in the know and feeling dumb and being in conversations and not knowing what's going on, right, in society. And so I said, hey, just go get educated. Listen to podcasts and books and different things. Well, I created a monster. I created a monster because now, and this is okay, we talk about it, so she won't feel bad. But she was very emotional about it. Very, very emotional about it. I said, whoa, honey, listen. You got to take what's out there, left, right, in, whatever, and then bring your own, right? Get your own views and your own feelings. But this is the important thing I want to say. So she was like, what do I do? What do I do? And I said, look, the President of the United States didn't say, Christine, this is what I want you to do. The president of our church in our religion didn't say, Christine, this is what I want you to do. But what they both said is, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and take care of your backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if all of us did those 3 things, where we would be today.
It
Right.
would be pretty shocking.
We all spend a lot of time spinning our wheels worrying about things that we can't have any effect on whatsoever. Things on the international, federal level, when in fact we can have such a bigger impact on our society if we just focus in on our local, on our own backyard charities,
Yep.
our
Control
families.
what you can control. You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Well, Blair, thanks for coming on. We like what you're doing. We like that this is coming out of our county. We like that. I want to see this program spread across the nation.
That would be awesome. And that would be awesome. And our next retreat, just so you can note it, and I'll send you an email on all this, Dave, so please send me your email. Our next retreat is April 29th through May 1st. April 29th through May 1st. It's going to be in Ogden, Utah. I forgot the name of the camp. Oh, shoot. Anyways, please reach out for details. I'll send you the email, the little flyer we made. And for all those listening, if you're a fan, if you know of a veteran or you're a brother of a veteran, a son of a veteran, want to go with them, awesome. Bring them. I mean, let's make this thing happen and fill these retreats.
And I'll try to put the word out where I can too, Blair. It's important work that you're doing, and you know what? Thank you for putting your time and effort into this. I mean,
yeah,
geez, I can only imagine how much that consumes of your life right now.
Well, thank you. It's a lot, but I've got a passion for it, and that's okay. I've been blessed with. I guess I've been blessed with bandwidth, more bandwidth.
Yeah. Well, one last time, just one last time for the audio listeners: phone number and email.
Okay, so, you know what? Thank you. Let me get the phone numbers 801-554-0527. The email is, I want to make sure that I misquoted, I think. It's Blair, Blair, or if you want to do it generically, it's either Blair or Hope for Life at thehopeforlife.org. That's our email.
Thehopeforlife.org.
Okay.
I know I misquoted before.
All right. Well, thanks again, Blair. And you know, anytime you got something new to pass on, give us a call. We'll put you on.
And I'll be in contact with you, buddy.
Well, I sure appreciate it, guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You bet.
Right, take care.
Yes, sir. Bye. All right, that was Blair Hope, everyone. Yeah, you know, he's running a good program, and now we're gonna have the mayor-elect of Grantsville coming on. So
2 mayors back-to-back shows. How about that?
yes, and then you can expect us real soon to have some city councilmen show up. So as soon as Mayor-elect Neil Critchlow shows up, we'll pull him up on screen.
And we'll take a quick 2-minute break right
Yeah, Dave will take a break, and I guess we'll chat. If anyone has any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Can you hear me, Jared?
Yep, I hear you, Neil. How are you?
Good. Can you see me?
1 second. I am doing some adjusting here to the screens and the stuff. Not yet. We can't see you.
Well, that means you're lucky. Let's see if I can push this down and pop it back up again.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna have Neil Critchlow's gonna come on. We got a few questions for him. I have him talk about the where he sees Grantsville heading towards. So this one's mostly for the Grantsville customers, but there is I think we're gonna see a lot more kind of metropolitan action happening through the county over the next little while. I think we're gonna start seeing cities doing joint stuff, like when we talked to Mayor Wynn last week, and she talked about possibly, and I think hopefully, having a joint animal shelter that would service the whole county, which means that we would have the ability to, I think, have more humane operations in our, stray animals and things like that. And I would like to see that happen. But if you guys have questions, please throw them out. I think he's still trying to. Oh, and I think we're there now. All right. Yeah, we see you now.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. Neil, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm doing well. Really well.
Good. Well, congratulations on your win. Are you excited to start out? When do they swear you in? When do you become
The 3rd of January.
The 3rd of January. So that's on
Monday.
That's a day after my birthday.
day after your
Oh,
birthday, huh? All right.
Oh, we should make him sing happy birthday to you.
That'd be a good idea. Right after the swearing in, you know,
Yeah.
lead him in it. So, all right. What do you see? Okay, let's.
Well, before we go there, what were the numbers? How were the numbers in Grantsville for the vote?
Oh, I had to.
We had 40-something% of the people who voted.
That's actually not too bad for Grantsville, is it?
Well, it's, since we've been doing these things, let me. I know I have that somewhere here. I can give you the exact numbers. And since they've been doing the mail-in ballots, the amount of people that are casting a vote is up. So more people are involved in being part of those things, and that's a good thing. So
It is. Yeah.
So pretty happy with it. It's been a busy day today, though. So today, I'll tell you what I've been doing. So today we got up, went to work for a while, come home, went to Diamond Jane's, took the residents up there some things from Morton Salt, some gifts and things like that. And that is so much fun to be able to see them and talk to them. And then I went and read to the first graders at Grantsville Elementary School, read the Polar Express to them. And they got me, so I says, who makes the best Santa Claus? And I says, you got to remember who has the white beard. And then we went to the Children's Justice Center up there in Twilla and to Cottage Glen. Those people are fabulous. There's so much work that gets done.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You just have to reach out and help.
Oh, and that's true. And it's nice knowing that these are offerings in our communities in our county.
It is.
It's real nice to know that.
We live in a great place, and we live here on purpose. So,
Yeah.
For those of you who moved to Twilla, didn't you move to Twilla, Jared?
Yeah, I moved up to Tooele.
Dang.
When I bought the house, Tooele was covering the better market.
Yeah.
Get more bang for the buck. So
Excellent.
on to Grantsville.
Okay.
Congratulations. We want to start off with that. What do you see kind of the future direction of Grantsville?
Well, right at this point, see, they've made it a city manager.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. You were the stalwart that wanted the full-time mayor.
I was okay with the manager. I really was.
Yeah. Okay.
What I really wanted them to do was wait until January, so the ones that are going to be on the city council decides it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they pushed it forward, and we got one. And Jesse Wilson's the new city manager. He'll do a great job.
Okay.
Is he a local person or from out of town?
Well, he moved in. Oh boy, it's been 12 years ago, I think is what he said.
That's pretty
He's
local
raised
now.
His family here.
Mhm.
Yeah. He's raised his family here, and he's a good man. Really is. Really a good man.
How do you think that's going to work with are you going to still stay on as the full-time mayor?
No, it's a part-time job.
So
They made it a part-time job.
Okay.
There's still things that I'm going to do and things that, during the election that I promised that I would try to get accomplished. And depending on whether or not the city council goes along with me in most of those things is what we're going to get done. I've already, I promised that we would take care of bring the cemetery up to speed the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I've already met with the public works director and said, you need to give me a plan of what you plan on doing to get this cemetery the way that it's supposed to look. I mean, boy, boy, there were some angry people during the election over that, the way that looked. And you know what? I don't really fault him. It's the amount of resources that he was able to dedicate to that. We're just going to make sure that that gets taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we got the cemetery. What about the sewage plant? Do you think that's going to be definitely happening?
Yes, it's, so as they met with a couple of the engineering firms, they said that we're doing like 1 million gallons a day through our sewer system, and we, according to them, as we can handle 1.5 million. But we have that many, the 500,000, I think, is pretty much spoken for with what we already have in the process right now, with all the homes that are being that have been approved, or in different stages along this thing. So, and the business park up there, that Lakeview Business Park, and those type of things. So, we're going to have to kind of get after that and get that part of it taken care of. That's really important, because if we don't, we're all going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Gotta have some place for the poop to go.
Well, yeah. I've been to
sending
third
them to
world.
Washington, D.C.
Martha's Vineyard.
I think I would honestly say DC is overflowing with that.
Yeah, they seem to be taking most of it, though. So
Yeah. So what else? What other plans? What future momentum do you see happening?
Well, what I want to do is, starting in January, right out of the gate, I want to go to these businesses that are in Grantsville, and I want to do just a little short Facebook Live with them to let everybody know what we have for businesses that are already here. I don't know if your brother, if you have any influence on your brother, let me go down to Guzzle one day, and we'll do a Facebook Live thing down there, and maybe I'll serve a couple of Pepsis to people, whatever.
Yeah. Hey.
In Tooele, I always get a pamphlet with my utility bills from the mayor. Right. And I always thought to myself, all right, we're spending the money to roll these mailers out. Why shouldn't we have more involvement with those for our businesses as well? And, I'm just...
You mean have it kind of like...
This is what we got for business in Tooele, in addition to all the library postings and
I wonder how
like
much
that.
those we are getting way off point, but I wonder how much those mailers cost, and if a business could pay $50 to have their name throw on it, and then the business covers the cost directly instead of. But yeah, we're way off subject.
Yeah. Hey, a good idea is a good idea.
Anyway, I want to do the Facebook Live with
Yeah,
you. I think there's people in Grantsville who have no idea of the types of businesses that we are actually doing. I mean, like Sally's Floral down here. I want to go down there because I know a lot of people have no idea that they even exist.
I am one of those. I know everybody in Grantsville knows about Guzzle. Just drive by there any time of the day.
I had to go to Twilla today, and there was a line of cars in the turn lane turning left to get in there, but they had to wait for the people in the right lane.
It's ridiculous.
That was great.
That was an ingenious idea. But I'll definitely put a word in with him and his wife, see if and that might not be a good kickoff. I know that they've been pretty social media savvy, and maybe they wouldn't mind throwing it together for the for the city, kind of help kick you off and figure out how to do that.
Good thing. We got an auto parts store here in Grantsville, and I want to go to a Facebook Live with them, and we're just going to hit these businesses. I want to go to Birch Family Pharmacy and just do a quick little thing. So I'm gonna have to get you guys to show me the best way to do this Facebook Live, where to put my camera and how to hold it, those kind of things.
Usually don't follow us. Don't point the camera at yourself. That's one lesson I should have learned a long time ago.
I'll do that.
If this was a radio show, it'd be great. But But yeah, definitely we're more than willing to help out with that.
Perfect.
Of course. Um, so you've got,
No,
you want to do that. What motion do you see like, I don't know, kind of new direction of the city or what, like what's coming around the pike in Grantsville?
well, you guys brought this up about the animal shelter to start with. During the campaign, uh, that's been one of those things that has really popped up a lot. And the regional shelter is in the works right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's going to be a better system. I mean, what we have now, uh, Emily Tripp does a really good job trying to take care of the strays and the things that are down there. But you know what? It's the facility needed major overhaul at best. Okay. Uh, anyway, a lot of bad comments about that part of it. But I want to. Uh, we're going to move forward. Like when we have an ordinance that comes to the city council, I want to do a first reading. Okay, so when we bring the ordinance to the council, we're going to have the information there. The council can look at it. The people can hear what it is or see what it is, because I want to put that on the city's website and on the city's Facebook page. Trying to get linked to Twitter so it goes everywhere, because I just think that it's more of an advantage to the citizens of Grantsville and to us as generally as everybody that is here, that they know exactly what's happening in our city. So if we have this ordinance that's coming up, we put it out on all those links that they can get back and forth to. Then we have the public hearing the next meeting, and then we can vote on it. Okay.
That's a good idea. I like, because you give people a minute to chew on it or to reflect or research.
That's right. And I want to do the same thing with these developers when they bring these developments in. Right at this point, the public hearing is at the start of the meeting, and you really don't even know what that developer is trying to put out there until the meeting's already going forward, and then they can have discussions and vote on it that night. And I want to that's part of the process. I want to slow down into this, is I want them to be able to come and explain to the planning and zoning what the system, what their development's going to look like, what they think it should look like. Planning and zoning can ask questions, and then we need to table it for a month.
It would be nice if it was like a virtual presentation that you post first. Everyone can watch it, digest it, and then you go into the process of asking questions. Because I'd like to know more about a lot of these projects that are going on, but I don't want to sift through an hour meeting at the Tooele Council. I'd rather have like a quick 10-15 minute presentation right by the developer themselves, posted as a video.
Well, that's what I want to do. Is I want to show what their developments what they want the development to look like, and then delay it a month, have a public hearing then. Okay. And just have the people come and voice their opinions, and they have a chance to chew on it for a month. And the ones that are completely against any development will always say the same things. But I learned a lot of really good things as a city councilman by listening to what the people were suggesting to me. I mean, people would corner it in the grocery store and say, "Now listen, this is a bad idea. You need to change the roads to this direction, or you have to do something different." And I learned a lot from them by just listening to it. And this is going to give us a developer has it. A month later, we have a public hearing on it. And then a month later, the developer can come back in. If he's paid attention to the public discussion, then the P&Z can explain it to him, make sure things are right. And that all the development, the adjustments need to be made. And then in another month, he can come back in after that, and the P&Z can make sure that he is right, and the public's been heard, the process has been taken long enough to taken care of, and is also a chance for our city engineer to look over his plans and see really, are we going to have enough slope and elevations and all those things to make all that work? And it won't be a rush thing by him. It gives us more of a chance to do our due diligence and to make sure that we're in the right place, with this. And then, we can do all those other things that we need to do. The sewer, as we was talking about, that part of this process is, I want these developers to make sure that sewer study is done on so we make sure we have enough place to flow that through the pipes that we have. Okay, and so that's really a good thing. And the other thing is, we spend a lot of money on our roads in this town. Okay, and we just have started. We just kind of rotomill them up, and then we re-asphalts and things like that. I've done a lot of study over the last 6 or 8 months about having the roads seal coated. Now, not like the one going to Twilla where it was gravel and slurry thing, because that's only made for speeds over 50 miles an hour, 35, whatever it is. And the seal coating will extend your asphalt life by 3 to 5 years if you do that. Now, if we could start extending the road lives out 3 to 5 years, then we're better off. And then go do yearly repairs on the asphalt so that we're not breaking things up prematurely. And I want the developers to pay for that seal coating, not the city. Before we ever take a road over, we need to have the sidewalks have a sealer on them, and the seal coat on the asphalt.
What is a seal coat? Apologize for not knowing.
It's a little chemical thing, that these guys can put on this asphalt to seal in the porous part of the asphalt. I'm going to have a guy that is an expert on this come out and explain this all to the city council. And then we'll put it on the agenda, making that as a requirement for the developers to do. Because right now we're just accepting roads, that don't have that extra protection. If we can make a 20-year road go 25 years, how much more of a savings is that going to be to the city? Then we can invest that in the other parts of it. That the maintenance on the roads is a fraction of what a new road would cost. And so we need to really look into that better than we are right now.
Yeah. From what I understand, the sealing, it makes the roads a little bit smoother so they don't trap any of the minerals in the water that in the hot and weather they expand and contract, and that does more damage to the road. So it helps keep the roads viable longer.
Now, will it make them more slippery though?
No, it really doesn't, because you still have a texture on the roads. It just, the deep pocks, it takes those out. It fills those in, and it's a durable surface on top that it's like galvanizing metal. You put something sacrificial above the precious material.
Gotcha.
That's a perfect way of explaining that. We need to do that, because like I says, if we can make those roads last 3 to 5 years longer, we're going to save money that way. And we need to do it on the city roads. Like we just did Hale Street from Durfee up, and if we went through and seal coated that, we'd be better with that and make that last a little longer than what we normally would. So they're just, and then, you know, I know people don't like to see the little cracks sealed
Mhm.
in the asphalt, but there's a reason for that. You know, if somebody does it right, it doesn't look nearly as bad. But if we treat those cracks, then the moisture doesn't get down in there and it doesn't tear the rest of that up and affect the base that's underneath there.
That's right, because we salt our roads in the winter, and salt is a agent that expands and contracts water in the winter, and that's why you get big old potholes that just kind of jump right out. Most of that is from minerals being pulled into those cracks, trapped, and then they have a lot of expansion.
Yeah, and the water runs down in those cracks, gets underneath it, freezes, pops that up. It's just, you know, we just have to work on that part of it. You know, we got to bring the community together a little more than I think we have in the past. I've talked to a few people that are going to be on board with this, putting this together, but I want to have like the movie nights in the parks, and we'll move those from Cherry Street to the Hollywood Park, and we'll see if the Anderson Ranches folks want to let us have it down there, but we'll move them around, you know, and just let these people come and be part of the movie nights, you know. And, you know, I don't know how many people we can get involved in car shows on a Saturday night, but I wanted them to go up on these parks and just be able to park their cars and have people wander around and just look at their cars, and then have the community there as a kind of a way to draw them into these other things that we want to do. Have a little band concert, or something like that. I really want to reach out to the community and say, hey, we're great, and we're not great just on the 4th of July. We're great all the time. So
yeah, and you give Taco Man and the Bagays a little more business. You do stuff like that.
That's right. You can't beat that if you get those guys a little extra business. And you know, there's a lot of food trucks that would come out and participate with us and help in those things. And like I said, Stansbury Park does it on Thursday, Twilla does it on Friday, and I'll try to get this going for a Saturday night.
Yeah. If you can find a place for those food trucks, I know like these taco stands and that, they're paying contracts to put their taco stand where they are. So they're literally paying overhead and rent to go where they are. I mean, if you can find places where these guys can just park and do their thing on community property or something like that, I bet you'd probably get quite the crowd if you could get some sort of like a Friday night food truck deal going on or something like that.
Yeah, if we have it by the parks, we can do those kind of things.
I think in Grantsville, the Taco Man doesn't pay. He parks in front of the Family Dollar.
Yeah, and it's just on Main Street, so you don't have to pay anybody.
Yep, and the Bagays, they'll sometimes at random come and open up at the park, at the main park on Cherry Street, but every event they show up there. They serve Navajo tacos. If you've never had one, you really should. They're excellent.
You've been missing out if you haven't had one of those.
Yeah, they're really, really good.
Yeah.
So what?
There's a lot of people that can do those things that are around the food trucks that we can get here, and people who want to set up stands, or if the high school wants to come and sell drinks or snow cones or whatever,
Yeah, and that's another thing. It offers opportunities for different clubs, high school clubs, whatever, to gain some revenue. So I want to ask you, what new developments are on the horizon for Grantsville? Is there anything that's in the works?
We've had a flurry of activity in the last few months.
What do we got?
Signing new development agreements and those kind of things. There's some things in the process right now, as far as like North Star, the one up by the irrigation office.
Mm-hmm.
They've finished that part of it. There's some people who have contacted me about some other developments in there. They haven't even put on the table yet.
Mm.
You know, I mean, people really want to move here badly, but we have to get this infrastructure in place first and make it so we're not getting beat up over it, you know. So I don't, you know, like I said, my house built in 1890. There's no reason that I should be paying for a sewer plant to be built. And it's like your mom and dad, Jared, that you know.
Yeah,
You know,
the original part of the house was built about the same time, but what's the possibility of getting a new sewer plant rolled into some of the new developments?
well, we're going to have to do that. They need to pay for it. You know, whether it's impact fees or they're doing these public infrastructure developments, those kind of things they're going to have to be the ones who pay for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think that
Well,
people have been here a long time have already paid for that sewer plant.
yeah. Well, with a lot of this development that has already kind of been kicked off, that's pushing the envelope that we're going to need that new sewer plant. Can you add those fees in later on after they've already been kicked off? Or is this something we're going to have to look forward to future developments?
If we put impact fees on them, yeah, they'll have to pay the impact fees on per house.
Okay.
That's going to definitely increase the price of a new house, isn't that?
Yeah, it will.
Drastically.
It'll increase the price, and with that, it'll increase the size of the new houses.
Yeah.
I'm
sure people from California will be able to afford it.
I'm good with that. I do want to see, and I brought this up, I think even with you, but I brought up, I want to see the different cities. Okay, governments have ran away. Regulations and restrictions have stifled, I think have stifled the people. And that I want to see the government figure out a way to get, why don't you ever see a new 2-bedroom, 1-bath home being built?
The affordable housing thing is a pretty crazy thing, you guys. I mean, a young family doesn't have a lot of options right now. Okay?
There's none. The option is you buy a McMansion or you rent an apartment for as much as the McMansion would cost.
That's exactly right. So,
let me float an idea past you, and I've floated this before to other people, maybe to you. I want the city, when developers come, I want to see the city start talking to the developers about saying, what can we do to entice you into building a $120,000 house right off the get? A starter home, a place where a young married couple can buy their first house, build up equity to move into that next one, and sell it to the next young couple coming in. And what's restricting that is, I think it's the regulations. You can't roll $20,000 of instant loss into a $100,000 loan. You can't. No bank on earth is that crazy.
yeah.
And so I think we've got to figure out, even if it's just, 2% of houses built, but we've got to start adding those in, because we keep moving this way and we're going to see a nation fall apart because we're not giving our young men opportunity for growth.
Yeah. You know, we had that development out by Walmart. It's on quarter-acre lots. Somewhere back in the early 2000s when Walmart went in there, they changed some zoning out there to quarter acres. And I thought, well, this is going to be better. They'll have less expensive homes and on a quarter acre lot instead of a half acre. And, things will be better that way. But this housing market went completely crazy. I mean, to have those homes cost that much money is crazy to me. I mean, I know people that paid $500,000 for a house that, 10, 15 years ago was 200,000, and
Yeah. Well, and the market fluctuates. And yeah, I mean, some of those houses right after that hiccup we had in 2008,
yeah,
some of those houses were under $200,000.
yeah,
And the house next door to it 5 years later was, $450,000. And then a
right.
year after that, we're at 600,000. But I think we need to try to drive this down. There's ancient philosophy that if you don't give your young men an outlet for growth, you get those young men bringing, pitchforks and torches and Molotov cocktails to the government. And I think we're approaching that.
Yeah. Well, we have to do something that'll make this a little more, make this housing a little more affordable. I kind of believe that things are going to start to have some major issues in the next 3 years now
Well,
with this administration that's in place right now.
you mean in the next 3 days?
Yeah. Right.
Well, we're in trouble. And I think I don't mean to go hard, and I maybe I'm in a mood or something, but I think the governments have caused this problem. City governments, county governments, state governments, and definitely federal governments have caused these problems. They have made this market what it is. And I think that in order for governments, I think governments need to be the solution, and governments need to start finding, and that doesn't mean that governments need to wreck themselves, but I think governments need to start looking, and no one's looking at this. Nobody's looking at these. How do I bring in affordable housing for young families? Do we just want apartments? And then I promise you right now, walk out in the middle of the street, find any 28-year-old couple and ask them, what's the biggest problem in your life? And they're all going to say housing.
That's right. Well, back in the day, we had several trailer courts in Grantsville.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the young couples, younger families went to, because that was the cheapest housing.
There was that, and there was a couple of older couples that had bought a few houses in Grantsville that would rent them out.
Right.
I had lots of friends who rented little houses for very reasonable prices.
I know Twilla does this, and in fact, I think it was Councilman Hanson and Mayor Wynn and those guys that kind of got this going, where you could actually build a home behind a home, basically, and be able to rent that out cheaper. It is when we'd have to be very careful what we're doing there, because that could definitely mess the neighborhood up. And but there's ways we can do that. And I just was in January. I'd like to go sit down with those good folks up there that got that going, and see what it would take as an ordinance to allow these, because we have these lots that are really deep.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if they're older couples that are, in the front, and they don't really need that back there. Maybe we can put something in place so that we can increase that ability to have those.
That's a good idea, but I promise you, we need to start bringing home prices down.
You're going to find yourself a tent city.
We're
sooner or later in our towns if
we're going to find ourselves with revolutionary young men, and that's the scary part. We're leaving them no options.
Which is what I believe that's happening, like in California and some of these.
It is. I mean,
because they got no place to go.
They've got no prospects. You don't mind throwing your life away when it's not like you're ever going to climb into the lower middle class.
Right.
So you don't mind. You don't mind when lawyers are throwing Molotov cocktails at cop cars. Something has gone wrong in society. And I think we need to look at, and the reason I keep pushing on this, we need to bring home prices down, is because that is the avenue for wealth, is to get someone to building equity.
Yep.
And if they're just renting a place, they're not building any equity. They're building someone's equity, but it's doing nothing for them. And so we need to figure out how to write that in, whether it's we have a progressive system, that evil P word, but a progressive system on how those fees are applied to different homes. I brought this up with Hanson. You know, is there no reason why we can't say, hey, if you build $100,000 home on a quarter acre, that $20,000 initial fee you're gonna be charged by the city and the county is gonna be lessened. We'll bring that down to $5,000. That they can wrap into $100,000 loan. They can't wrap $20,000 into $100,000 loan because no bank, that bank manager could have just got done with his joint and sniffing a line of coke, and he would still be smart enough to say no to that one.
Well, the thing about it, like the building permits and the fees that are charged by the cities, there are certain fees that the hookup's going to cost you this much money simply because that's what it's going to cost the city. So there truly is a cost here, but as far as the building permits, that's built up based on the value of your home. And so the building permit will be a lot less, those kind of things. And so, if we can do it on a quarter of acre or something like that and have it in the right places, what we don't want to do though is to have those kind of situations on the outskirts of our town, because everybody has to travel. We got to bus the kids. We have to, the roads aren't designed to do those kind of things. And we have to make sure those type of things are in place. I know there's a developer who is developing a piece of property, and that his property, he's developing this thing with large parks so the kids have some place to play and do things. And he wasn't forced to do that. He just did it because that's the right thing to do. And the other part of it is there's going to be some smaller homes, affordable homes that people can build some equity in.
Well, what's affordable? Let's define that.
I don't know at this
Because
point.
when a developer tells you affordable, he's talking 300,000.
Well, no, these are going to be smaller homes. Okay.
Okay, even smaller, 250,000. I think, and you won't see a developer. You will not see one from coast to coast that's building a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Yeah, I promise you right now, you won't see one. Nowhere. You could go down to the poorest of West Virginia. They're building a 4-bedroom, 3-bath with a balcony that overhangs something, and
Yeah. Well, and says in his particular case, he's building these homes that are starter type of homes. Probably won't be 2-bedroom, 1-bath kind of thing, but maybe he can in the future. But the next step up is in the same development. He's building some for the families that want to move out of this one because their family's getting bigger and they move into this one. And another part in there is when when couples get to be empty nesters, they don't want to take care of that acre or half an acre, and so they move into one of these other types of homes. You can do your whole lifespan through that in that one development, and we probably ought to look for more of those kind of things.
And I like that. I like that a lot. I want to push the envelope on the starter home. And I know I'm kind of radical on this, but I'm seeing it right now. Like my son right now is dipping his toe into the market, and there is nothing under 300,000.
I know, it's nuts.
Nothing. And what that means is, what we need to do, and I think, let me ask you this what makes more sense to a government? Long-term housing, property tax, or that one-time hookup fee? Can that one-time hookup fee be minimized to gain long-term property tax? What would make more value for the coffers?
Well, and the impact fees, and I'll tell you, my thoughts on that is that you got this impact fee, and it's a one size fits all.
Mhm.
But if you have a little tiny home, they're getting the same impact fee that the guy who's building this $500,000-$600,000 home is, even though that the amount of flow and water that they need to take care of this little tiny lot and this little house is getting the same impact fee as the guy with the huge lot in the big house.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things that we can always look at that to see what we can adjust to make that happen, but they need to be closer in town. I mean, my house here is a very small house, you guys. I've raised 3 kids here and survived, and you know, we're fine.
Mhm.
You know, there's a mindset that people have to have 6 bedrooms and every kid has to have their own and those kind of things. But I can't fix that in their goals in their life, you know. But I just know as I'm older, I like my little house. It's, you know, I don't have to worry about too many bedrooms and too many kids and those kind of things. And so it's sufficient for our needs. And that's what a lot of people, I'm not sure they ever get. They understand what's sufficient for your needs.
There's also the mentality, though, that you can't put a family in a camper trailer longer than 30 days or else the police are going to come knocking. So, you know, I mean, believe me, I'm sure there's plenty of single guys that would just love to use their camper trailer and park it somewhere remote and just be left alone. But yeah, we have rules against that sort of stuff. And I think as the market gets more and more expensive, we really need to look at the rules that say you can't do this, you can't do that, and maybe relax a little bit on those stringent policies that prevent people from, you know, living in their camper for longer than 30 days.
That I understand, and that's a whole nother argument from my political vector that I don't want to throw on Neil. I just, you know, and I don't mean to throw this on you. I know it's a harsh conversation, but it is something that I am passionate about.
Yeah.
I think that our governments have run away. They've run away from the people, and it's not any city government or county. It's the whole government has run away. If we were to take any mayor from today and transport him back 50 years, the mayor that looked at what was going on in cities today, he would pass out. He would think it's crazy ridiculous. And if you transport him back another 100 years, he would probably think it's normal, but we just had a big collapse that ended that. And if we transport him back, you know, 1,000 years to Rome, they would say, yeah, that's what we do. And it seems like we're running away, and I think we need to boil it back down to what's a necessity on a governmental level.
Well, and this is my feelings, dude, is that the more government you have involved in anything, the more messed up you're going to be.
I agree. And those,
you know, so from Washington, D.C. and those idiots back there to even our local people, the more you stick your hands in things and start to make these rules, the more you're going to mess it up. And most rules are made because they're trying to overcome one guy. You know, one guy has caused this one rule to be made.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and so,
well, of course, not property taxes. That's trying to overcome, you know, the right to own property. But, you know, that's just a tangent for another time, that you buy property yet you don't own it because you have to pay for it every year. That always has been a burr in my saddle.
Yeah, they and you know, there's certain things that don't pay any taxes and those types of situations. But we people have come to expect certain things provided to them by the government, and a lot of times that's been put in place to keep the government in power and over you, and give them control over you somehow. So certain things that we need to do in our lives, we need to understand the government can't solve all of our problems. Up front, they're just going to mess it up for us. So let's solve our own issues. And one of the ways we do that is to kind of keep government back off of us a little bit by having more information and being more transparent in all of these rules and things that are going and being set out there. If you're going to affect somebody in a rural part of Grantsville by, moving in a bunch of trailer houses or apartments, then they're just going to be angry because now you're affecting that one section, but we need to take them so we can have those things that people have come to expect closer to town, so we're not having to do too much infrastructure, police care, schools, all of those things that's required a government to give to their citizens. We need to keep that closer to where we can handle that. Excuse me. And the further away out of town you go, the more that complicates things. Okay.
Grantsville is in that growth margin area where you've got
nuts.
The old inner town, and then you've got the, I don't know, last 20 years middle area, which are bigger. And then you've got this new growth that's going on the outside and it keeps getting bigger. And that's the natural inflection of it, I suppose. I'm wondering is there a way that you could con or figure out how to talk to developers into maybe some designs that allow for this ability, that allow for that. Can you steer developers? Is that a possibility?
Well,
I guess that's
there's a lot of
question.
things that you can do with developers, and I'm checking into the thing about the percentage. How much of this needs to be smaller homes and how much it needs to be bigger homes, and those kind of things. I'm looking at that already, so we can be proactive in that with these developers. We haven't done any of that at this point, so everything that's on the books now is on the books.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
Can you steer this on the book stuff? Can you have them drive towards building this new sewage plant? The stuff that's already on the books, or is it just new stuff that can
only by doing impact fees on them.
So you can do impact fees as their
per house.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is we're in that weird time. Grantsville is growing up. It's moving into, it's turning into a city.
Well, yeah, and that during the campaign, I said we need to have a moratorium on this thing, like for 6 months of any new developments, so that we can get a better understanding. Does a bigger home, one of these $500,000, $600,000 home, these bigger square footage, use more water, which in turn use more sewer system? And we need to make sure that we cover those things. If the smaller house isn't using as much of the resources, do we need to charge them the same amount? And what I want to do is do a little study as far as the water usage of all these bigger homes, to do two things: to make sure, first of all, that the developer brought enough water, water rights with that development to the city, so that we're not the city isn't paying for the developers people's water, because we have a certain number of water rights that belong to the city, but we need to make sure that those water rights are being brought to us. If we need to increase that, whether it's the size of the home increase or if it's just, blanket thing, we'll have to let the city council kind of get to numbers on that to figure that out. But we can't do that as we run, because we need to slow down and figure this out of what is actually in place right now. We just have to make sure that the water rights have been equal to what the people are using.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I think and also electricity. We're going to start feeling the crunch on that too.
Well, they'll end up putting that power line across the West Bench here.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's going to affect our views and all those other things. And Rocky Mountain Power says, thank you for your concern, but never mind. Okay. Those are things that we have to do. That's one of the problems that Twilla was having for a long time was they would take the power, but Rocky Mountain Power couldn't get it back to them in sufficient enough ways until they run that other power line across the top, over the top of the settlement, Middle Canyon, and up over the top of the mountain, brings it back. Because Twilla needed electricity. They were about out of capacity. And we're going to end up doing the same thing if we don't kind of mind our P's and Q's. But Rocky Mountain Power will take care of that.
I think a good study into both of those, to water use, sewage demand, and electricity demand, would definitely be Can you put a moratorium on a new development for 6 months?
Yes, you can.
All right, I think that
I don't know if the council has enough willpower to do it right now, but we need to take a step back and look at that. 6 months isn't that long. It's fine, and then we'll have the information in place, and we can go forward from there. I really feel we need to be aggressive in making the developers pay for the things that we're going to have to maintain for them for years and years. There was already a thing on the books that said you had to seal the sidewalks. We've never made people do that. So,
was that the developers had to seal them when they first put them in?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So how do you get away with not doing what's in the contract?
You're just never asked.
That's a pretty good point.
And they've never asked. Okay,
Yeah.
now, it wasn't just the last 12 years, but they've never asked. So we need to look at that. I mean, there's portions of sidewalk down in front of the old church down there. The thing was built in the 1920s. Okay, and some of that sidewalk needs some serious work, and we have to do those things. I do have a question for you two, though.
Yeah.
So, in the past, the city sent out a mayor's letter, those kind of things. Now, my question is that I want to send this letter out, but I really want to have more of a schedule of the events that's happening at Grantsville to be part of that. The high school, these are the high school activities. These are the community plays. These are the functions of these volunteer organizations. These are the high school basketball games, wrestling, those kind of things. So the community knows exactly what's happening. Is that better in a letter, or should we set up a website that says these are the community functions?
I think with this new world, okay, the letter's fine and it has good reach, but I think in this modern day and age, it's time to take advantage of all the free outlets. So
Yeah.
I don't see a reason why Grantsville can't have a YouTube page or a YouTube, page where Grantsville just has YouTube videos that they play. You could have, it could be managed a million different ways, and that could just be something that people who live in Grantsville or in the outskirts, they can sign on there and see what's going on. Facebook, definitely. Facebook and Twitter, those are the commons now. That's your town square anymore. So, and Grantsville already has a presence on Facebook. But yeah, I think take advantage of all the free stuff. That part is free. Where the letters, you've got to pay to have the paper printed and the trees cut down, and then they got to get mailed out.
And we don't take advantage of that asset the way that we should. If I were the mayor, I would have at least one business sponsor the front of that envelope and one business sponsor the back side of that envelope to generate a little revenue for that process.
You can.
There's a lot of white space on those mailers that we can fill up.
And that's, there's that way, but I would start figuring out how to take advantage of the free things out there, the free modes of, you've got Facebook and, now you've got YouTube and Rumble and BitChute and Library and all of that. And it's just a matter of someone sitting there and uploading stuff.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of time.
Well, and we're going to have to do something. Somebody says we could link most of those together. So if you put it on one, it'll automatically upload to the other ones. But I don't know that. I got some lot smarter, younger people than I am that are trying to teach me how to do that, which is going to be a little tough.
That's the thing. And I think the mayor's focus would be wasted if he went to trying to put that out. I think trying to set that up. I think what you should do is, I'm going to get with you and the city council after the first of the year. I plan on coming down, meeting with you and kind of coming up with a plan on how you can lay this out and have everyone put their input in and how it can be done to where it's not one person has to make an ultimate sacrifice to do it, where it's just not really any more of your time than you're already going to give, and you can get this information out.
Right.
So
that's appreciated because we're going to need a lot of help on this thing. I mean, I've tried to navigate the city website, and I know it's a lot better than it used to be, but I'm still get in there and get lost, and I have some savvy to this thing, so we have to make it easier for people to get to it and use that social media and our web page and do those kind of things, and so we can navigate that a lot easier for everybody, not just the Gen Z or X or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, and it'd be nice to make it entertaining also.
Yeah.
Make it so that the city puts out a new video, say once a week, and it's something that people don't mind watching and don't mind, hey, I want to see what's going on in Grantsville this week. What is new going on in 2 weeks? It's Grantsville advertises what's going on.
And that's a great opportunity for school students, too, to learn how to get involved with that kind of a process and use with their social media knowledge to promote the city and help post
That's
and
a great
paste.
idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they got a journalism club or something that they run a paper from.
It wouldn't be a bad, maybe link out to maybe the yearbook club if they've got one. I don't even know if that's still a thing anymore.
You're aging yourself, Jeff.
I know. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
You want to sign my yearbook?
Yeah. They used to have a yearbook club, but I don't know if that's, but there's ways to do it where I think we can make it so that, the mayor, the city manager, the city councilman all have a portal to where they can add stuff to it, and then businesses around town can maybe link an ad that they make and add that link to the city's webpage and just have it kind of cycle through.
Yeah. It's like on the news at night. It says, you can link this up, you can click on the link on our page.
Uh-huh.
And if we have something like that on the city webpage, so we can link on the high school activities, the junior jazz activities, or not junior jazz, we're not doing those anymore. The Little League baseball, football kind of things, there'd be a link that somebody can click on it, and if they keep that up, we can have it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Now, I requested for you to restart your video. We're having we had a technical difficulty come through.
Okay, it says help us, let's see, start my video.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know what happened there, but something glitched in and glitched back out. But anyways, yeah.
We might be audio from now on.
Yeah, we might be audio for a minute, but we'll just keep talking. So, yeah, that's a good idea, and I think there's a way that we can link those things together.
We have to use what's available to us right now, and in 20 years from now, who knows what we're going to be able to do with computers and those kind of things, what's going to be available. But right now we need to take those opportunities to get our word out and get the voice of what our city is and what we're trying to accomplish. And like I says, when a developer comes, I want to put that on the city website and on Facebook, and so people know what that is. When we have activities, I'd like to have that on there. The YouTube thing sounds great to me. We can have Paul Cook narrate that. What do you think?
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that really would.
He would keep us. We'd have too many bloopers. He makes me laugh.
Paul is an awesome guy. No, that'd be really good. And it could be that we're going without video on the stream right now, just so everyone knows. So
we're still here.
The stream may have got better, but there's lots of ways you could go about it, and I think that'd be I think I'm just going to come down after one of the city council meetings, and you guys just hang out afterwards, and we'll sit down and look at what the options are, what you guys would like to see, and come up with a plan so that it's we want to make it kind of easy to do. We want to make it so it doesn't have one filter and one funnel it flows through, so that all you guys and the city, quite frankly, can figure out how to flow into it, even if that's just the different councilmen and the mayor all swap off the week, and they go through kind of submissions of commercials that different businesses or people want to add into it, and they just say, yeah, that'll be added in, and the different businesses film their own commercial and whatever else, and they just drop it off to you on a hard drive or a zip drive, or not a zip drive.
Just download it. Now, so on these businesses that I was going to do a Facebook Live with and things like that, can we just, you guys are the experts on this, can we just shift that to make that a YouTube presentation as well?
Yeah, I just record it, and I'll show you guys how to set up a YouTube page, and
perfect.
Just show you what you have to do, and then how to put it up, and whatever else.
Perfect. We talked about beautification of Main Street. We already have $15,000 in the beautification thing, and there's a lot of things we can do with that money. And so we're going to have to be very careful. But it's like the ugly tree in front of my house. I've already had him take that down.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And so I'm gonna plant a better tree. It'll be in my yard, and it'll still give everybody shade, but it's going to take a while. But that one tree will be gone, and there's lots of people that I think want to do the same things. We just have to get them tied into who can come and drop those trees for them and pack them off. And
Yeah.
the state would like to see them gone. I talked to a couple of their guys on the maintenance shop, and every time they do snow plows, they rip the antennas off their trucks and those kind of things. And so we really have to maybe adjust those, that beautification thing down, and so we can start getting some lights and banners and those kind of things in the future.
Yeah, and you're right there at the start of the parade run too. Every time.
No, not anymore.
Oh yeah, they
Started the
moved it.
parade.
Yeah. Okay, you're the start of the parade run I remember as a child.
That's right.
But yeah, they I don't it makes you wonder if you could find a company who's willing to figure out how to float a deal and see if you can't get everyone in the city who wants to be on board sign up on board, and maybe give the company a month's worth of business just in Grantsville and lower everyone, including the city's price.
Yeah, we'll have to see what we can do.
Yeah.
That's in the works. Like I said, I wanted to kind of be the example of what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some solar LED lights coming that I can put out, in that park strip that can kind of light the sidewalk a little bit and also make it look a little old fashioned. We can hang the banners on, and you don't have to run electricity to them if they're solar and LEDs. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we just kind of, if everybody wants to do that, we can kind of look to find the best ones and the ones that look the best. And so we have kind of a standard going down the road. So, but there's a lot of things,
Yeah, there's good things in the future, and I have to say I am a traditional Grantsville resident. I'm now a Tooele resident, and I am proud of both of my cities I've lived in. I think Grantsville is super popular for a reason. Everyone wants to live there for a reason. It's
Is it the Navajo tacos?
that could be part of it. Well, it's big enough to offer modern life, but small enough to offer the safety of a small town.
It's like the Stedman commercial, where everybody says it's 300 miles out, but it's only 30 miles back.
Yep.
And people understand that really you're spending as much time commuting if you live in South Jordan to downtown Salt Lake as if you lived in Grantsville to commute there. So there's some advantages to that. And the other advantage is we had a car fire up on 112. I was just coming home from Tooele last night. Got stuck in
yeah.
that.
Woo.
And I went down there to take, to talk to them, just ask the fire people that were there, what kind of help do you need? I mean, I know I'm part of the department, but my role is, what do you need help with? And I can help you with that. And I just went along the cars that were stopped there and let them know what the time constraint was going to be for them. This one lady, she moved to Grantsville in August. I says, "Oh, you missed the gnat season." I says, they're there's little microscopic little insects that have teeth that's 3 inches long, And she
Do you
said,
think you actually think there's an insect hooked to those teeth? I thought they were just teeth.
Teeth with wings.
From somebody who's allergic to those.
Oh.
I mean, my head, if I get a gnat bite, my head swells up. It looks like somebody hit me with a baseball
Really?
bat. Yeah, it's terrible.
And you live in Grantsville.
Well, they invented stuff. Skin so soft, and I lived through.
Oh, yeah.
You put dryer sheets on the top of your hat.
You survived,
know,
is what you did.
yeah, stalking, you know, through my whole life. The only places I lived, one in Plain City had gnats and Grantsville had gnats.
Hey, does that Skin So Soft stuff actually work?
Yes,
Yeah.
He's still here.
I am. I'm still here.
I'll take you out by Blue Lakes this upcoming summer, and you'll, yeah. Well,
They have
it's
a lot of
spring.
gnats there.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
there's just a lot of things we need to do, you know, and it's kind of a big step for the future.
It
you
is,
know?
it is, and I know I came hard at you tonight. And
Good.
this is kind of a.
We're supposed to warm you up first.
I know. I'm supposed to go gentle, but this has been kind of my pulpit for a while. Is I think we need to collectively, as a state, a nation, a city, everything is sit and look and how does it look in 10 years if we keep on this track? And I think we need to revert back to giving that 22, 23-year-old guy who's, got a baby on the way, give him the opportunity to build some equity without, because I work with guys who stretch so far to buy a house that it invariably injured their financial life for years to come, and they're not able to be financially whole again until they're in their mid-30s. And I think we need to figure out how to bring that back around to.
We can work on those kind of things. Talk to the developers about, the percentages. And like I said, I've already started looking into those things. I'll tell you, a lot of people have brought that up during the campaign. That's one of those things, if you listen to people, you can get a lot of information and a lot of ideas, unless you think that you're the smartest thing in the world, which I'm not. We're just going to take care of our people the best we can to live in Grantsville. That's why I ran for mayor. That's why, I think people understood what I was saying during the campaign, and we need to slow things up and get things right for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like I says, if government get too involved and mess things up, okay, we need to kind of allow things to flow on a free market kind of basis without beating the developer up too bad and giving some opportunities. It's not like I hate developers. I just think that at this point they've gotten the free run here. That part of what bothers me.
Well, they're doing their job, and they maybe they need to be restricted a little more in doing that job.
Well, they need to pay for what they're actually costing us.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, you shouldn't be pulling money out of the general fund to pay for a sewer system that a developer has caused to be overloaded.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that they're paying their fair share in the long term, not just the short term. And that's why the situation on the roads, if we can require them to do certain things to make it last longer, if we can get them to pay their fair share of the sewer plants so that normal people don't have to, long-time residents don't have to pay for that, we're going to be okay.
If a contractor says, I'm going to seal the sidewalk, and he makes that promise, it is part of a healthy civilization to be able to maintain and keep your contract. So,
right.
If we do have contractors that are making promises and not following through with them, we need to identify that.
Requiring though, that's the thing, that the city hasn't been saying, hey, you have to seal this. It's on the books, but not focused on them.
Yeah, and the contractor, they're going to get away with what they can.
Yeah.
And the contractors are gone now. The ones who built those houses 5 years ago, they're gone.
Yeah. And so from this point forward, we need to say, this is what we're going to do. And the city council authorized the hiring of a city inspector to go to these development sites.
Mm-hmm.
And but he's not been allowed to really do that the way that he's supposed to. He's a good man.
Yeah.
That'll do it. I mean, he needs to when he turns the corner, I want those developers just to cringe because they're afraid that he's going to find something that one of the corners they cut.
Oh yeah.
So those are the things. That's what I want him to be the bad guy.
You want to stick him on him?
Oh yeah, that's
I agree. I agree completely. And sometimes that needs to be done.
Good cop, bad cop, right? That's how you play the game.
And if we have too much development for one guy to do, you know what? We need to get another guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Because those fees are not coming out of my taxes. They're coming out of development fees.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're actually paying for the salary of the guy, but we're making that happen through the city. So it's somebody that we can control.
Yeah, but again, though, I mean, every time we make the developer cringe with another fee, they pass that on to the customer.
Well, they do, but the market will bear some of that, and some of it he's going to have to allow to take place. And and if it slows things down a little bit, I don't really, we need to slow things down a little bit.
They're just going to come in with, it'll just make them take a step back. Their developments will get bigger, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe then you can figure out how to force him to eat other concessions into bigger developments, and maybe that's the way it's going to have to go, at least for a little while.
Yeah, we'll look at it. We're going to look at everything that's on the table and just kind of see what we can do to. That's what I want to do from now on, and we got to make a counselor on board with it. But those are the directions I want to go with this.
Yeah. Well, Neil, thanks for coming on. You endured me getting after you for the housing for a minute, and and believe me, I understand this is not your doing. This was something that was put in place when you were first buying a house, and then initiated, 5 or 10 years after that. And I hope we can. I'm trying to bring you onto my side to correct it.
Get me away from the dark side. Huh?
Yeah. I'm gonna bring you over to just the little bit shadier side, I guess.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, and you can expect me. I'm gonna show up to after the first of the year when the new city council's in. I can get the mayor and I can get the city manager. I'm just gonna show up to the meeting, and then afterwards sit down, and you guys just let me know what you want to do. And then I'll see if I can't aid you in coming up with a plan on that.
Let me know when you're coming. We'll schedule a meeting, the end of the meeting after everybody's gone, so that you can do a training session.
Yeah.
On this,
Yeah, we'll bring it together, and then I'd like to see. You guys could hire someone to do this, but I think it would also be interesting if you guys did. If I saw the city council and the mayor and the manager all add their kind of little flair into it, and see what kind of entertainment comes out of that. Because I think making it entertaining is the best way to get it to the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and getting out where everybody sees it, makes them laugh, and at least creates an interest in it.
Yeah, this is going to be good. It's going to be good. Yeah. Neil, thank you very much for coming on. Do you mind if we go through just a few? We don't have many comments for you tonight, but Jolene says, and she's going to be one of your city council ladies, councilwoman. Yeah, councilwoman. She says, I love the idea of utilizing our resources. So Jolene asked for it, and she is going to be getting it, I guess, because she'll be one of those who is designing it
Yep.
and bringing the city up to snuff. I think it'll be exciting times, and it's a little bit labor intensive, but I think if you guys spread it out and figure it out, I think it'll be a boon for Grantsville.
The key is division of labor. That is the key to building a process of communication.
Yeah.
You don't want to work one guy like a rented mule.
Exactly.
Well,
the hitch out a little bit.
if you have to, if it gets to that point, that's where I think the council will need to sit down and say, do we need to hire someone to do this?
Right.
But
Right.
I think you guys can try it off the start. You might find you might be able to manage all that you need with it.
Yep.
I think this will be either way. It'll be exciting. It'll be fun. And thanks again, Neil. And I want to throw out one last mention before you go. And you're here, Neil.
All your Christmas presents.
So Dave has made a batch of chocolate. Now I don't know if anyone knows this, but Dave,
It's a lovely box
the
too.
co-host here, makes these chocolates, and you see it. It's the state of Utah, and
Very
it says
good.
Utah on it. Dave makes the mold and does the mold chocolates. Now, Dave, tell us about the chocolate. This one is
So this one is
spicy.
it's got a caramel inside. Now the caramel consists of a habanero mango caramel, and it's lighter than I usually make it, so it ain't gonna burn your mouth when you sink your teeth into it. But these are fun to make, and
I'm gonna throw some contrast behind it.
I think you'll enjoy it, Jared.
Oh, I know I will enjoy it. I've had your chocolate before. It is delicious.
And
I didn't realize you were so crafty, Dave.
Oh,
yeah,
Dave.
I love this kind of chemistry. It's fun, and one of the things I do, I can take like business cards and turn them into chocolate
Yep.
bars, or I even made a statue of Obama once.
his favorite president.
Yeah, I called him the Chobama. He was made of chocolate.
Yeah, and it's really cool looking. I think I should have Dave after this put the pictures on the Happy Hour Facebook page.
Well, we'll get there. I'm gonna probably get a little bit more intense with it throughout the year. As
just the pictures
as
of the ones
things
you've
go
made.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
No, but it's I want Dave to actually kick off a business doing this. We have Utah truffles. I'd like to see Tooele chocolates. I'd like to see that, and then Dave, it's labor intensive, but he can make business cards, and I've seen this.
Well,
stuff he
Jared,
makes. He's
Jared,
good.
ask and you shall receive. If you go to Your State of Chocolate on
Ooh.
Facebook, you will see the business page.
Yeah, and
Your state of
Your State of Chocolate, yes.
okay.
there we go.
Look on it.
Yeah, and that might be fun for a city to maybe have announcements come out with chocolates. Maybe not to the general populace, but
Well, if you want to communicate with somebody, I mean, there's very few other types of business cards other than chocolate business cards that can really make the most disinterested person interested.
that's true.
But,
Well, at least for chocolate chewing time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And habanero mango caramel.
Like a lighthouse.
yeah,
Make your chocolate look like a lighthouse behind me.
he could.
That'd be actually fairly easy, to be honest with you.
Dave, he has a whole contraption where he does a vacuum seal. A vacuum pulls the chocolate in, and it fills a void, and that's how he makes the
How cool
different
is that?
shapes. Yeah, he
Talented man, Dave.
makes good stuff.
I wish my wife would agree with you. She thinks I just make a mess.
Well, I mean,
You
I'm
probably do that too.
I'm
but
sure
Oh,
there
yeah.
is that. But yeah, Neil, thanks for coming on, man. And
Thank you.
I will be down to see you guys soon. And then just here's a warning note for all you city councilmen down in Grantsville. Get ready for the emails because you guys are up next. The city councilman, and I'm going to let me float this idea past you, Neil. I'm going to try to bring 2 councilmen on at a time, one from Tooele, one from Grantsville, maybe one from Erda from Grantsville, and get the council members intermingling while we do an interview.
Think it's great.
To build
Should
that
be fun.
Yeah, build the county into a cohesive, disaster.
It's either that or turn it into chaos.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do there?
I bring the chaos.
Okay.
But yeah, Neil, thanks so much, and I'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you,
All
Neil.
right. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Jared.
Yes. All right, everyone. Have a good night.